mean, what I want to do on this video is just sort of ask each other the top questions about this huge life change that we're about to take. This gets a little personal. Do you think it will be better, worse, or simply different?
Ooh, okay, let me think about that one. Okay, my next question is...
Great question.
Okay, your turn. Okay, so we are a family of 4. We have 2 boys under 4 years old. This channel is really just an effort to document our journey of moving to Portugal, of packing up our lives in the United States and
selling everything
and kind of, you know, doing it. So,
and by the way, can I just say that it's not like we have nothing. I mean, we own our first home.
Yes.
And that's a pretty difficult thing to get rid of.
Yes, well,
to
let go of, not to get rid of.
Yeah.
A lot of mixed emotions and a lot of complicated
risk.
parts,
yeah.
But this is the beginning of our journey, and we wanted to document that. We just initiated the process, and so this channel is an opportunity for us to kind of document that and talk about it in a way that might be helpful for other people who are either considering doing the same thing or are about to go through it themselves too. Okay, so a little bit of background. We went to Portugal for the first time in 2019. I had always wanted to visit, and we sort of fell in love with it during that time. And so 2 years later, we decided to have our wedding in Portugal. So we went back there in 2021. So, you know, we had always had this kind of, let's call it a pipe dream of moving to Portugal.
Right.
Or moving anywhere in the world.
Right. But probably primarily Europe.
Yes, but it was mostly something like, oh yeah, one day, or what if, that kind of cliche feeling that every tourist gets when they go somewhere of like, oh, I can see myself living here.
Yeah. Because you're on vacation mode.
Sure,
Yeah.
But I think there was something particularly charming and beautiful
Absolutely.
and about Portugal, not just as a place, but the people as well, that we felt really drawn to. A couple of years ago, Jeremy's childhood best friend made the move, and it kind
of... With his wife, they moved over there to Lisbon,
and it kind of made it feel doable, and it made it feel possible, and it kind of, you know, made it feel more like a possible reality than a pipe dream. And then, you know, I had been pushing for it every now and then, and Jeremy would say, well, let's achieve X, Y, and Z and go.
Well, basically, it was like, let's save our money up more. Let's figure out how we're going to be able to remain employed there. Like, what is our
all the challenges?
How can we make our financial situation work there? Because we're both still working. So about
6 months ago, Jeremy kind of gave me a challenge of like, okay, you want to do it, figure it out. And so it was a slow process of, well, what can we make work? Can we even go there? Is there an immigration path? Is there really the primary thing was, can we make the taxes work? Can we work there? What are the implications? And obviously there are a lot more.
What's our budget going to be? You know, like,
yes, but really in
money?
The beginning it was all about, can we even do it or not? From sort of an immigration and also like an employment point of view. Will our employers let us do that? And kind of that was the hard and the tedious part. So we figured that part out. We went on a scout about a month ago.
To Porto, which is a city we want to move to.
Yes, so a lot of research into which city we want to move to, etc. A lot of YouTube watching.
So much YouTube watching. So many like 4K walkthrough videos.
We decided on Porto, and we went and scouted because we had never been to Porto despite
we've only been to Lisbon.
Having been to
Portugal
a couple of times. And then we came back and kind of hit the button on
I think we had such a great
visa
scout,
process,
and we met with a couple schools. We'll get into all that stuff in probably other videos.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what I want to do on this video is just sort of ask each other the top questions about this huge life change that we're about to take, and our feelings around it.
Yes.
And,
real feelings.
Yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and because I honestly, look, I think what's going to be interesting is looking back on this video after, assuming we're successful in this immigration, then we'll look back on it and probably get a kick out of the things that we thought were going to be concerns or pros or cons, and then how it actually shakes out. So that's the plan.
All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. All right, top 5 questions.
Ready.
What are you, right now, in thinking about this move, what are you worried about the most as far as living in Portugal? What is gives you the most anxiety, or you think might be the most difficult to live with? Of all the things we've heard from all the other YouTubers that we've watched, what is the worst thing that you can imagine? The thing that's going to affect you the most negatively being over there.
Mold in the apartment.
Mold in the apartment.
Mold in the apartment, I think, would really upset me and make me feel anxious about the health of our children, and sort of, because it's also something inescapable, and your home is supposed to be sort of your refuge and your sanctuary. So kind of not feeling at home more broadly.
And it's interesting because I've heard totally conflicting reports. Some people have mold in every drawer, and other people have no mold, right?
So, or they don't know how to spot it.
I guess the newer construction maybe doesn't have it, but
remains to be seen.
But we don't know yet what we're going to end up with. So,
okay, my first question: what will you miss the most?
We lived in a city before we moved where we are now, and one of the reasons I wanted to move out to the country was for that peace and that solitude, and we've been able to achieve that, really. And I guess I'm worried moving into a metropolitan city is going to erode that, and I'm going to be, it's going to grate on me.
Yeah, the sensory overload of being in the city.
I have to adapt to that, and I'm I don't know, am I getting too old to
Did you feel that way when we were scouting? Did you feel overwhelmed by the noise or sort of the hustle and bustle?
Didn't. I felt, in the 2 apartments that we stayed in, it felt pretty quiet. We didn't hear the neighbors, and it felt okay. I think this applies to you too. What would really get me is if I can hear the neighbors through the walls, but hopefully the pros will outweigh the cons. Okay, this one has to do with our 2 boys who are both under 4. Do you think it will be better, worse, or just different for our boys to be raised essentially Portuguese as opposed to American?
I mean, I don't know what it is to raise your kid as American.
It means blue jeans, guns, and cheeseburgers.
I think our kids are not going to be 100% Portuguese. Obviously, I want them to assimilate and be part of society. But ultimately, they have a story, and they were born in the U.S., and their mom is from Saudi Arabia, their dad is from California. There are so many kind of complicated parts that make them who they are. So I think it would be short-sighted to say that it would be better or worse. I think it's just going to be different. And I think there will be some positive things to them being raised in that environment. I also think because where we live is so isolated, they are not really living the quintessential American experience of the modern day. They're not in the suburbs.
Sure.
So, which I think is what I would define as the American experience, is living sort of how you grew up on a cul-de-sac in the suburbs. So I think it's just going to be different. Yeah. What are you looking forward to the most about living in Portugal?
It's kind of like a broad answer, but I feel like it's just the adventure of being somewhere where the possibilities are unknown. There's so much I don't know about the city we're moving to. I've only seen such a sliver of it, and I'm excited to explore more of it. And I feel like there's real opportunity there. to discover, I don't know, meaningful, exciting things. And so it's the possibility of the unknown. You know, where we live now, everything's the same day in and day out. And we'll have our routine there too. But being in a city, I think, is going to provide that.
I think as parents, we often feel, because we're in the grind of like kind of daily life and doing the same thing over and over.
Right.
We feel like that chapter or that phase of our lives is over, of like kind of having adventure or having kind of the unknown as a, you know, as something to look forward to or be exciting, as opposed to something to fear or something to feel so anxious about.
Yeah.
Because obviously you want everything to be good and safe and the same every day.
Totally.
So I think that definitely, that resonates with me.
Yeah.
That sort of sense of adventure and figuring something out as a family. And it's kind of like a team building activity for all of us, all the four of us. And everyone will have something to contribute. And everyone's going to experience it differently. And I'm looking forward to seeing the kids in that environment as well.
Totally.
So.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, my next question is something you've already asked me, actually, which is, what are you anticipating to be the hardest part?
I'm going to wrap this into what I think is anticipating to be the hardest and what might be kind of the most challenging for us. And that's making meaningful relationships with others there. Anyways, I'm worried also that we're going to find ourselves in just a different kind of bubble there, you know? We're moving from this rural place in America where we don't have a lot of connections to a metropolitan place in a foreign country where we're also not going to have a lot of connections. And ultimately, we're just going to be surrounded by more people, but still feel just as alone.
That is possible. The likelihood of meeting new people in a more dense place that has sidewalks.
Yeah.
It's just statistically higher, you know?
Agreed. We've made a decision not to tell anybody that we're doing this until it's kind of, you know, we've got our visa, our temporary residency visa. What do you think the reaction will be from your friends and family when you tell them?
I think the reaction to the move is going to be mixed. I think some people will be like, oh yeah, we've always kind of said that, or they will be like, oh yeah, we don't put that past you. Like, you are the kind of person who kind of moves around a lot.
Yeah.
And some people are going to be like, oh shit, like this is big, especially with two kids.
Yeah.
Because in general, we don't go anywhere with our kids because we are the guardians of their routines, which then kind of guarantees our sanity to an extent.
Right.
So for us to go from kind of leading this regimented, routine-focused life with the least amount of disruptions to, okay, we're packing up our bags and going to Europe where we are going to live.
Yeah.
And we're selling our house. I think some people will be surprised. And I think a lot of people talk a lot about, you know, we want to move here one day or move there, especially after coming back from vacation. So I think people will be, I think ultimately my friends will be happy for us.
Yeah.
And will be interested to see where that goes and will want to visit. And,
mine too.
And I think also I have a lot of friends who are going to be closer to me when I live in Portugal. So I'm looking forward to that, to kind of seeing them. And that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, who do you think in our family will have the easiest time adjusting to life in Portugal versus the hardest? And I'm curious to see who...
You mean of me, you, and our two boys?
Yes, and I'm curious maybe to hear if your answer is aligned with mine. Not that I have a solid answer, but...
I've lived overseas before for a year in Eastern Europe. I've traveled a lot. I've been to a lot of countries, and I seem to be able to manage just fine, you know, wherever I'm at, figure it out, and I seem to adapt. Mm-hmm. So I'm confident, but I haven't done it with a family before, so that's a big unknown. But I don't think it's going to be me. I don't think it's going to be you. You come from another country before coming to America, so, you know, moving again, but you haven't done it with a family either, so maybe Max would have the hardest time because...
Max is
our oldest of our
3.5-year-old.
Yeah, our oldest of our two boys. I think he is gonna
He appreciates his routine and he loves his home.
He really does.
He loves all his things.
Yeah, I think he's going to have the hardest time probably.
And who's going to have the easiest time?
I guess Julian, because Julian is the youngest.
And he goes with the flow.
He just goes with the flow. He doesn't know what's going on yet. So
my initial answer was almost exactly like yours, but then upon doing some deeper reflection, I think I'm going to have the hardest time adjusting. And it's not because it's a move to a different country. I don't think it would matter if it's like Portugal or a house next door. I think as I've become a parent, I have become more focused on keeping things the same. I sort of match the temperament of my toddler and like, I need things to be predictable and safe and familiar. And so if I am doing parenting again in a different place where I don't know what kind of yogurt that my toddler will like in this country will kind of give me some anxiety.
You know, I had that thought, but I didn't want to say you. So we'll have to see. What are you, and this goes along with some of the other questions, but what are you most excited about as far as this potential life transition?
This may sound superficial, but I'm looking forward to walking everywhere. In taking public transportation, eating good food, kind of feeling like I'm a part of society. I think.
What do you call it where we live, where we don't see a lot of people?
It's like facial poverty.
Facial poverty, yeah.
And I'm looking forward to just having pleasant, small conversations with strangers and kind of the promise of kind of hitting it off with a new friend and sort of just enjoying something new, being by the ocean. You know, this move is not just about us being in a different place. It's about our children kind of entering a different stage in their lives where they will be going to school. So that is
it's a big deal.
Huge. So for them to kind of be in an environment that I value and I feel very confident about my children being treated fairly and, you know, by caretakers that are going to be kind and fair to them and in a beautiful school. And
I agree with all that.
I think I'm really looking forward to that. I think that will be really incredible to kind of embark on a change in location that will also coincide with our children kind of growing up and, you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your eyes and in your mind, what will make this move a success?
You know, we live in our first home now. I would say I would consider us newly married. We've been married 4 years. Our children are under 4. We're kind of new to the family life, but we have set up systems for ourselves where we live now. We're able to, I feel like we have a handle on sort of life and what is required of us to maintain the kind of lifestyle we want and take care of our kids the way we want to. And if we're able to achieve that there, to be able to not feel like we're
in flux,
scrambling all the time to fix something or solve something, if we're able to find some peace there and a routine there, that really gives us that peace, then that's, for me, a success. Hey, those are great questions. To be continued.
To be continued.
To be continued.